Who are some music artists that switched genres? Beastie Boys started out as a hardcore punk band. Ministry started off a synth-heavy new wave band before switching to industrial metal. Pantera was a glam metal band. Trent Reznor has now composed multiple Oscar-winning movie scores. Garth Brooks had a weird alt-rock side project under the moniker Persona Chris Gaines. The first single did fairly well, but the whole thing was ridiculed to the point of no return. Didn't both Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus cut their teeth with country before switching to pop? Skrillex used to be an emo band from first to last. Gwen Stefani went from punk rock ska chick to pop country Barbie doll pretty quickly. The Beach Boys started out in surf rock and ended in baroque pop. Katy Perry was originally a Christian rock artist under her real name Katie Hudson. Here she is performing back in 2002. https://youtube.be/70alokbwak. Goo Goo Dolls used to be a punk band. Darius Rucker had a rock band called Hootie and the Blowfish who had some good songs on the charts. Then a few years after they broke up, he popped back up again, as a country singer. Ronnie James Dio, known for his heavy metal, actually started out as a doo-wop artist in the 1960s. https://u2.be/u8mutooako. Mike Patton, although that seems like an unfair answer. Bob Dylan started out as a folk singer, then had a rock period, country period and even did some gospel music. LL Cool J went from making rap music to being a cop on a TV show. Taylor Swift went from country to pop. David Johansen went from being in the New York Dolls to being Buster Poindexter. Radiohead, Just All the Time. Gorillaz, same thing, just all the time. Does Trent Reznor count? Bring Me the Horizon went from deathcore to metalcore to hard rock to pop rock. The Weeknd did a lot of synthwave, synthpop. Then he went more towards pop, R&B. Now he's back to synthwave. Meatloaf went from rock to an underground solo artist. Black Eyed Peas. Before getting Fergie'd, they were an alternative hip-hop group. And then went all pop rap. MGK got pushed out of rap by Eminem, he does emo rock now. Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin regularly makes albums with bluegrass musician Alison Krauss. Ulver went from black metal to trip-hop. Opeth went from death metal to a nice warm progressive metal band. I don't even mind it. Their latest albums are great. Paramore went from emo punk rock to a more pop-ish style. Honestly, I love both their old and new music. Everlast from House of Pain. Nelly Furtado. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Frank Zappa. Beck just goes from genre to genre whenever he wants to. People sometimes say Pink went from R&B to more pop, but it can just be considered all pop. Foals. Their early stuff was so good and they shifted from an experimental math rock sound to more of an alternative, stadium sound. Tom Waits went from jazz pop to, I'm not sure what he is now, but it's not that. Steampunk grunge rock. Talk Talk went from second-rate synth pop to experimental post-rock. Panic at the Disco. Fleetwood Mac. From folk and experimental jazz to rock, which eventually led to the seminal Rumors album. Thundercat was bass player in a punk band. Johnny Rotten went from the Sex Pistols to Public Image Limited as John Lydon, so punk to new wave-ish. Vanilla Ice, Everlast. Literally Ever German rapper went from hip-hop to pop. Portugal The Man went from psychedelic indie rock to pop punk and laughed all the way to the bank because of it. Linkin Park went from rap metal to rock to pop rock to pop. Arctic Monkeys from alternative punk rock to psychedelic rock. Wynton and Branford Marsalis have bounced back and forth from popular music to jazz to classical. Excellent in all three. Bee Gees. Demi Lovato. She went from pop to alternative rock to conspiracy theorist. Elvis, Buddy Holly, Brenda Lee, the Everly Brothers and plenty of others started as country singers. Dolly Parton went from country to pop and back again, several times. Jewel went from pop, rock to country. Lil Wayne made a rock album. Goo Goo Dolls used to be punk. Michael Bolton started out in rock, metal. His band Blackjack opened for Ozzy once. A few big-name trance artists switched over to the big room progressive house sound in the early 2010s. Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, Gareth Emery, to name a few. Clint Mansell was the singer, guitarist. Keyboards for Pop Will Eat Itself pop group. Then went on to make film, TV soundtracks for Moon, Doom Patrol, Black Swan, Ghost in Shell, Black Mirror. R. Kelly went from rhythm and blues to prison blues. According to the CMAs, Casey Musgraves. Kenny Rogers, from psychedelic rock to country to chicken. Anyone remember Pink starting off with R&B? Kid Cudi. My Bloody Valentine went from gothic punk music to making some of the best shoegaze ever made. Mariah Carey leaned more towards R&B in 1997, and put out less gospel and contemporary records. She did release R&B records prior to 1997's Butterfly, such as Dream Lover, and Fantasy. Bowie was chameleonic, SP, smiley face. The Byrds went from folk rock to psychedelia to country. Sonny Moore used to be emo, then went dubstep, Skrillex. Burzum going from black metal to dungeon synth started a pretty big trend of black metal fans getting into dungeon synth. IDK if you'd be down for international music, but Co Taiji from S Korea started out with dance, hip-hop in the 90s, metal in O, and then to alternative rock in the 10s. Beck. Alanis Morissette went from pop to alt-rock. We can thank Uncle Joey for the Killer album, Jagged Little Pill. Bring Me the Horizon used to be a deathcore band, but after the lead singer hurt his voice plus some successful experimentation, they've entirely moved to electronic pop rock. Machine Gun Kelly and in my opinion Miley Cyrus. Aaron Lewis went from being a rock star to a fascist country artist. Deaf Heaven have gone from metal to atmospheric pop. Deftones masterfully switch genres, sometimes even on the same album. Let's not forget Snoop Lion. Actually, on second thoughts, let's do all we can to forget that ill-judged shit. Coldplay. MGK went from making mediocre rap music to bad rock music. Let it be known I love both these genres, but he did neither of them justice. Embodiment went from death metal to emo. Mark Knopfler. Sky Cries Mary was an industrial band before becoming a trance, psych, whatever band. I think they did a lot of mushrooms in the woods and it really changed them. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for more content.